mates is important to everyone at TAE. We believe that all injuries are preventable and that any accident in the workplace is unacceptable. So over the next few minutes, we're going to cover how we work together to keep you safe while you're visiting our workplace. You'll have already signed in and received your visitor's pass. So when you leave, please sign out and return your pass and safety glasses if issued. If you're working in warehouse or production areas, contractors will need to wear appropriate clothing for the task they're undertaking. Also, a heads up that all TAE buildings are designated non-smoking. You will, of course, be required to wear personal protective equipment in designated areas and where the job safety analysis for the task you're undertaking requires it. Contractors visiting a TAE site must implement and maintain safe work practices based on the guidelines and requirements as set out by legislation. You're expected to minimise any risk of injury or illness to both yourself and other workers, and you must comply with all instructions given by TAE staff for your health and safety in the workplace. As a site visitor, if you hear either an emergency siren, which could be different on each TAE site, or verbal shouting to evacuate, you'll be instructed by your TAE contact on what to do and where to assemble. We ask you to stay in this assembly area until the all clear is given. If you're injured or feel unwell on our site, notify your TAE contact. First aid may be provided by trained employees, or any injury or illness beyond the first aider's training is referred to a doctor or hospital as necessary. Safety signage is in place to keep you safe, so please follow any signage instruction, and restricted areas can only be entered with authorization. In some instances, you may need to be escorted by a TAE staff member. While on site, we ask you to follow safe work practices and identify and report any hazards you see. We also ask you to use all safety devices and equipment correctly and report plant and equipment defects immediately to your TAE contact. Where work to be undertaken involves high risk, strict procedures as per company policy and health and safety legislation must be adhered to. The section manager or their delegate will discuss this type of work with you and ensure that an assessment of all hazards is undertaken. Safe work method statements and permits may also be needed to conduct some activities. These will be identified on your induction checklist. Health and safety is the responsibility of everyone in the workplace, including visitors and contractors. So we appreciate your support in keeping our workplace safe. Welcome to TAE.